Meg Williamson's boyfriend was killed by a car driven by a young man fatally distracted whilst talking on his mobile phone. Inga Lowwater runs Restorative Together in Wiltshire and Swindon. Peter Wolfe spent many years behind bars until restorative justice opened his eyes to the impact of his crimes. Restorative justice is an alternative way of dealing with an offence or incident. It puts those harmed by crime or conflict and those responsible for the harm in contact, enabling everyone affected to play a part in finding a positive way forward. Meg, why did you decide to get involved with restorative justice?
When my boyfriend had been in his crash, I had a lot of anger and I needed questions answering, mostly that the police investigation couldn't clarify for me. So when the opportunity arose for me to be able to meet the other driver, it was a chance for me to actually be able to speak to him about the how and the why questions and see the compassion and the remorse that he was portraying.
Meg agreed to the encounter being filmed for the BBC's Inside Out South documentary programme.
My name's Meg Williamson and my boyfriend Gavin Roberts was killed by a driver using his mobile phone last June on the A34. One car had been travelling in the southbound direction and Gavin had been going northbound, and it was the southbound car that had smashed through the central reservation and hit Gavin head on the other side of the road.
I know why I was on my phone. I was making the calls to my girlfriend at the time. I was scared of losing her. And yeah, they were emotional calls. They were shouting calls, high emotional calls, raging calls that shouldn't have been made that night. And I've got to live with that forever and ever and ever and ever.
I want to ask what he was thinking. What possessed him to pick up his mobile phone behind the wheel. I want to know how he's feeling now, how it might affect him, and to let him know how I'm feeling, how Gavin's family are feeling, what we've had to go through.
When I had the message that she wanted to meet me, I felt upset because I'm guilty and I feel like I'm a bad person. I feel like I'm hated everywhere, and I thought she would hate me, and I felt, why would she want to stare at a murderer? Are you angry at me?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But then so many people do it. So many people. That it was a stupid mistake. I don't want to hate you forever. I'm not that type of person. And eventually I'll probably be able to forgive you. But I just needed some questions answering first.
What's been the benefit for you of going through the RJ process?
I've had a little bit of closure moving forward, being able to kind of celebrate Gavin's life as opposed to having those unanswered questions. It means that I can get back on that same road that he drove on that Saturday night. And it means also that I'm able to know how Lewis was feeling as well, because, you know, he is a normal human being who has been through a lot, maybe in a different way, but seeing and hearing his side of the story as well.
Restorative justice can also benefit offenders and prevent reoffending. Peter Wolfe, who was a prolific offender and drug addict, spent 18 years in prison. He spoke about the incident that led to him becoming involved in restorative justice.
I broke into this house and I was confronted by the owner, Will Riley, and we had this awful fight, and I eventually was arrested after hitting him on the head a couple of times with various things and blood coming out of his head. And off I go to prison. I was on a recall, so, you know, straight to prison.
Peter described coming face to face again with the householder he'd assaulted.
In my head, I'm thinking, this is it. I'm just letting them hear what they want to hear. So I'm being quite blasé by this time, and I say, when we first met Will, and Will went crazy, you know, he vented his spleen on me. And
why was it such a strong reaction from him?
Because it weren't when we first met. It weren't. I burgled his ass. I hit him on the head. I caused his baby daughter nightmares. His wife was so traumatised, but I didn't think about anything like that until he started saying it. And suddenly I started, you understand. That's what it's about. Restorative justice is about. And I always use this metaphor. It's like going into the room, metaphorically, and the people, the victims, say, glad you're here because you've caused us a lot of pain. Sit down, because we're going to share our pain with you now. And that's what happened. My life changed beyond all recognition. You know, since that day, I've never committed another crime. Since that day, I've never taken another drug. Since that day, I've never drunk alcohol. My life changed completely. Absolutely, completely. It gave me they said, we'd like to see you get education, we'd like to see you get work experience. Something I never dreamed of doing. I just thought I'd just always do what I've done.
One last question. What do you think when people say restorative justice is a soft option? What do you say back?
Yeah, I've had easier days in the Old Bailey. It's that simple. Restorative justice is the single most powerful thing anyone could ever go through. Irrespective whether it's in the criminal justice system, whether it's in a school situation, it is the single most positive thing I have ever encountered.
Inga Lowwater coordinates the Restorative Together service in Wiltshire and Swindon. She said restorative justice is much more than someone saying sorry.
Restorative justice is about communication that's positive and effective, and where you really look at what happened, you really look at what people felt, what people thought, what they've been like since, what the effects have been, and some real acknowledgement of what's happened by the person who committed the offence. So it's not a soft option at all, and those people that we've heard speak about this, who offenders who have taken part, will say that it's the most difficult thing they've done, that they have that hand on the door handle to come in the room. They say they just get really scared. Yeah.
So what is the best approach for someone who thinks they, or someone they know, might benefit from restorative justice?
If anybody thinks that they might want to take part, it's just to contact us. They can call us or they can email us, and all they initially need to do is say they're interested in knowing more about it. It's not as if you contact us, then you have to go through with it or you have to meet with that person. They just get an opportunity to learn more and to explore if it's a good thing for them.
Restorative justice is fundamental to policing in Wiltshire and Swindon and to the criminal justice process, according to Keir Pritchard, Assistant Chief Constable in charge of operations at Wiltshire Police. He says it is certainly not a soft option for those who break the law.
This is so important. It is such a powerful tool for us. It has the opportunity for an offender to stop in their tracks and to recognise the dramatic impact that their offending has had on an individual. It gives them the opportunity to recognise that the true impact that their crime has had on a society or on a family, and to look in the mirror almost in terms of actually what are they doing next in their life? Is there an opportunity to change their offending behaviour with the support mechanisms that can follow? It's so important.
Asked about the value of restorative justice, Keir Pritchard is quite clear.
For a victim of crime, the criminal justice process is technical. it often leads to a court outcome where the victim's role is quite minimal, despite the tragic and harrowing impact that quite often they have experienced. So the RJ process provides them an opportunity to feel empowered within the process, to have a voice, to be able to seek answers to the questions that they have about why somebody's done this to them, and to be able to explain in their own words the impact that it's had. So for the victim, it's hugely powerful, it's empowering, it gives them the opportunity to be part of the process and not to feel that it's being done to them.
Restorative Together is funded by the Police and Crime Commissioner for Wiltshire and Swindon, Angus Macpherson, as part of his commitment to putting victims first. He said that to judge the success of restorative justice, it was necessary to look at the process from two viewpoints.
One is the effect for the victim, and their requirements for a restorative justice process is entirely different to that of the perpetrator. But we have seen a drop in recidivism and reoffending as a result of the process, and a very large percentage of satisfaction for the victim. So yes, it works. The measure of which it works will be different in every case.
Inga Lowwater hopes that the compelling stories told by Meg Williamson and Peter Wolfe will encourage victims to contact her team at Restorative Together and find out if the process could work for them too. If you would like more information about Restorative Together, please go online to the website of the Police and Crime Commissioner for Wiltshire and Swindon and follow the links to restorative justice.